This is the final episode of the Vikings Scenario Series. And today I'm not doing a fourth scenario. It's just about taking a look back and summarizing what would be the best strategy for the Minnesota Vikings to win a Super Bowl. Let's first have a look at regular season wins. And staying on track, at least in the first few seasons, was the worst decision. Although the rebuild should be worse, it was only worse in the first year. Already in year 2, we made a step up and won 9 games just shy of the playoffs. In the staying on track scenario, year 3 was the first year with a playoff, and we actually got the same wins in 2023, 2024, and 2025 as in the all-in scenario with 11, 10, and 13. So staying on track was similar to all-in the final 3 seasons, but in the first 2, all-in really helped us to turn the ship around very, very quickly and directly get into the playoffs year 1 and 2. That was something we could not achieve in the other scenarios. But in the end, we were shy of winning the Super Bowl. For the rebuild, you can see 2 Super Bowls in 2023 and 2025. Although we had less regular season wins than in the all-in scenario, at least in the final 2 years, only one time the rebuild was the best decision. In all other years, all in was the better decision. But as I said multiple times, this does not guarantee a Super Bowl. And in the playoffs, with 1 loss, you're directly out. Now taking a look at the total wins, now the rebuild outperforms the all-in also in 2025 in the Super Bowl season. Despite only having 11 wins in the regular season, but 15 overall, which brought us the Super Bowl. So the rebuild was the only scenario where we were able to win multiple playoff games, including the Super Bowl. But what are potential reasons for that? Let's take a look at the final team of the staying on track scenario. O-line really, really good, as it is in nearly all of the scenarios. Wide receiver core outstanding, tight ends not really. QB 83 overall, so Isaac Staples should be the worst of the 3 quarterbacks. Defensively, great D-line, linebacker core, decent enough, cornerbacks not really, except from Adoree Jackson, and safety also not the best. All-in scenario, the O-line looks similar, wide receiver core looks similar, Amari Cooper is a little bit better, wide receiver 2, also David Njoku better tight end compared to the stay on track scenario. Dalvin Cook as always, and now Frank Gutierrez, who was better than the quarterback we had in the stay on track scenario, and especially on defense, this team is outstanding. Really, really great overalls across the board on the D-line, linebacker, cornerback, and also safety. So this was by far the best team. The rebuild team is slightly worse than the all-in team. Quarterback a little bit worse, although Bernhard Martin definitely was the best quarterback in terms of stats. Wide receiver core, tight end, and O-line also a little bit worse compared to the other scenarios. And defensively, there were some holes. So, cornerback and safety is really, really good. Right outside linebacker, defensive tackle too, nickelback. So there were a few holes in the team, so not as good as the all-in team overall. But as I said, Bernhard Martin played very good, 42 touchdowns, over 4,000 passing yards. And also the rushing game was the most effective one. Most touchdowns, not the most yards, but still our offense was really, really good. And that was also something that can be seen in the stats. Offensively, always top 5 or top 7 here in terms of total yards, touchdowns, passing and rushing, both number 1 of the league. So the key to win a Super Bowl was really a great offense here, although our defense was also not the worst against the pass, but points allowed 22nd, not the best. I'm jumping between scenarios, but this is all in again. And also here, really great offense and really, really great defense, even better defense. So theoretically, this should be the team that wins the Super Bowl. Maybe the only reason was passing game. That could be a factor, that passing was worse compared to the rebuild scenario. And that might be the reason why we lost in the playoffs. And I mean, I know I said I don't care too much about coaches, but this is of course not true. Coaches are very, very important, or at least I think that coaches might be the reason why we won in the rebuild scenario. Robert Olsen, our offensive coordinator in the all-in scenario, was focusing heavily on the run. So although we had the best quarterback in terms of ratings in this scenario, I guess our offensive coordinator just didn't use him to the best of his ability. Frederick Sales, on the other hand, our offensive coordinator in the rebuild scenario, was very heavily pass focused, and he also liked very fast receivers, so something I also really, really like. So maybe Frederick Sales and his way to play offense was better suited for the team. We had a really, really good running back, but maybe the better strategy was really to focus on the pass and just use the running game as a complement to that. I don't know. I have also not a clue what's really important for good offensive coordinators, good defensive coordinators, what to look in terms of personality, what stat might be more important, which preference might be more important. But as I said, in the playoffs, everything can happen. And although the all-in team was better, there might not be a reason why this team was not able to win a Super Bowl. Taking a final look at the regular season wins and total wins, every scenario had its ups and downs. Staying on track was the worst one in my opinion. All in had the best team, but the rebuild made it happen and we won 2 Super Bowls. This does of course not mean that rebuild is the only way for the Minnesota Vikings to be successful. But what I would say, just based on Bernard Martin's performance in the rebuild scenario, a great passing game might be the key for the Vikings to create an even better running game. If defenses know that this team is really able to pass the ball, they just cannot put all the defenders into the box. They also need to account for Justin Jefferson and the quarterback and the passing game, which gives Dalvin Cook even more possibilities to be dangerous in the running game. So to sum up, with a good passing game in combination with a dangerous rushing game, the Minnesota Vikings might be able to get into the playoffs, maybe already this year in reality or next year. I think the team has quite good players. I'm really excited also for the rookies if they make an impact. As seen in the scenarios, draft classes are key, and if rookies are already able to perform in the early years, this could accelerate a rebuild or make the team even better than expected. Thanks everyone who watched the series. It was quite fun to create it. Of course, also very, very time consuming. This was by far the most effort, playing 5 seasons, drafting 5 times for every scenario. But I really enjoyed it. Hope you did as well. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.